Okay, it's challenge day, and I think I'm up for the challenge. Welcome into the Piles of Paragraphs creative space. I'm Lori, and today I'm going to do my 2 weekly challenges. I'm going to do the Margarete Miller Collage Challenge and the Roxy Creations Challenge. So let's pull the stuff for the Roxy Creations Challenge off over to the side here. And, oops, let me see, sorry, to adjust my mirror so I can make sure that the iPad is still filming. Jostled some things on the shelves. Hopefully that won't fall now. Okay, sorry, back to the challenges. Okay, so this is week 10, the Margarete Miller Collage Challenge. And the prompts are a word that inspires you. The word I chose is grace. Something cut into a triangle shape. So I have a couple of triangles here. Something travel related. I have a little image of a passport. Something with legs. I found this fantastic table with gorgeous legs. And a color swatch or paint sample. So I color swatch some alcohol markers on some tracing paper for that one. And then something textured, has some little bits, but here's a bigger piece of wallpaper, textured wallpaper. So I'm going to try that. So let's see. Side. Okay, put these up here. And passport standing on the table. I was trying to do this square, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. Let me trim around the tabletop so that at least it looks like a table. It's an image from the New York Public Library's wonderful digital collection. And of course, I forgot what the shape of these legs are called. But I thought they were really quite lovely. So, of course, you know, the first instinct I have for something with legs is a spider, but I don't want to work with a spider. So I'm gonna passport. Passport in later. Thing shaped like a triangle. Put that in over here. Trim a little more off the table legs. Well, not off the table legs themselves, off the square shape of the table image is more accurate. Okay. So let's see. Maybe. I do like the idea of using that kind of like that. And put the table here. I can add the passport up here to here. There we go. Can do that. But now I have this large piece of wallpaper. Let's see. Where do we want that to go? Here. Nope. I think maybe I will do this. This side I'm gonna trim off the little points that I have on this. I don't know how easy it is for you to see the pattern on this wallpaper, but it's a really pretty kind of scrolly. It's got a flower in the center, and it's a very lovely wallpaper. Let's see, that goes there. Goodness. Indecision. Indecision is really running strong today. Okay. Let's see. Do this. Okay. I think what I will do is I'm going to glue down the. Get rid of all my little bits of wallpaper there. I'm going to glue down the color swatches since it's kind of a curly piece of paper. I absolutely love this artist's tracing paper. And it's of course on a roll, and it's old paper, I think, because it's very fragile, or brittle, I guess, really more than fragile. And I absolutely love it, but I struggle with the curve. Okay, so that's there. This is here. Oops. Let's not glue it to itself. All right, let's put this here. Burnish that down. And then I think I'll use the Tombow glue for the wallpaper piece because it is heavier. I did think about running an ink pad over this to kind of bring out the pattern, but I think I like it in its natural state better for this particular project. Got a whole roll of it. I need to start making things with it, so you may in fact see more of this. I think it'll make a gorgeous journal cover, so I need to work on that. Okay, and then I do like that. Okay, this is cardstock, so I'm going to use the Tombow glue on this again since I've found it and have it available again. I had buried it in my stuff, of course, because, you know, I'm good at that. Okay, so then let's see. We have a table here. I think I'll overlap that a little bit and use the glue stick on here. Oh, goodness. I don't even think I asked how anybody was and said that I hope you're all having a good day doing something creative. I will say I'm a little behind the normal curve for today. I slept much later than I normally do because I went to bed much later than I normally do. We went to see Lyle Lovett in concert last night, and well, he's one of my favorites. Been one of my favorites. I was figuring out last night for close to 40 years. I've been going to see Lyle in concert pretty much from when he started. My sister-in-law, Patty, took me to see him for the first time, and I was still in college. So was he like 1986, 1987, something like that. I think it was 86, though. I know that was the year his first album came out because he talked about that last night. And So we went to see him, and I swear the venue that we saw him in then was like a classroom at like Scottsdale Community College or something. It just wasn't even a it wasn't even a like a like a real, in inverted commas, venue. But I think I have seen Lyle in more different venues than I have. Yeah, certainly anybody else, because I've seen him more times than I've seen anyone else. I would hazard to guess I've probably seen Lyle probably maybe 35, somewhere between 30 and 40 times anyway. So I didn't get to see him last year, so it was a must to see him this year. So okay, let me see. Did I get everything in? A word that inspires me, which is grace, and the reason it inspires me is I need to remind myself to allow myself the same grace that I allow others, because I tend not to do that. I tend to be much harder on myself than I am other people. Something cut into a triangle, so the triangle over here. Something travel related, a passport, which is high on my list of travel things right now. We just got our passports renewed, so we are looking at making another trip. And let's see, something with legs, this cool little table. Color swatch or paint sample. Here's color swatches that I did on tracing paper. And then something textured, it's like embossed paper. Well, this is embossed wallpaper. So, okay. So there is week 10 of the Margarete Miller Collage Challenge. Hold on a second. I'm going to get a sip of my coffee. Pardon my reach. Okay, fibbed a little. I got 2 sips of my coffee. Okay, so the Roxy Creations Challenge for this time is large tags using like bigger ephemera that we sometimes struggle with. And she used her promissory notes digital. So I am going to do the same. I have started. I've got this one done. Well, the base done anyway, or done-ish. I apparently didn't glue that very well. And I think I will go back and trim that. I wasn't going to, but I think I will. Now let me a little art glitter glue in here since I didn't get that quite glued down flush. Okay. Probably doing that on top of my stack of stuff is not the best of plans. So look in there. Little pin. Okay, so this is where we're headed with these. And then we'll be decorating them with some vintage, at least vintage, seam binding. Oh, 1969, that one is. So I'd say it's probably all of that era. Not quite as old as me, but close. Okay, so there's some other things to decorate with. Let's pull these off. Okay, so Rachel was using her glue pages to create her tags, and I use junk mail and old printing to do mine. So mine don't have that wonderful patina that hers have. Let's see what to have the top. Let's do that, I think. And she, of course, uses her glue stick and then uses the Tombow glue around the edges so she doesn't create more glue pages. And she uses book page for hers. I think my friend Gail Agustinelli has been using a gardening catalog from her husband's, I guess it would be his junk mail pile. Probably not really junk mail. Mike's quite the gardener, so from his done with this catalog pile. So let's see. Well, I was telling you about the Lyle Lovett concert, and he was here as part of let's see, I'm going to forget what it's called, Arizona Music Fest. And I'll go higher. And he comes every couple years as part of that, which is a fantastic series of concerts. We saw Pink Martini as part of the same concert series earlier this year, back in January, I think it was, in the same venue, which is it's a huge church up in North Scottsdale, almost like North Scottsdale. I'd say Cave Creek, but I think it's not really that far north. But it's a very nice venue. Although I will say, I get a little frustrated with the audiences. I sometimes think a lot of the people that go to these particular concerts are not necessarily fans of the performers, but they're going to see a concert, which is fine. You know, I think everybody that goes to see Lyle should love his concerts, but people tend to get up and leave early. And I mean, I understand. If you got to get up and make a pay a call, that's fine. Get up and discreetly go out and do that. A 2.5 hour concert with no intermission. That's a long time, so that's no problem. But it was like people just couldn't wait to get out of there last night. I have never seen as many people get up and leave before his encore. And he's going to do the encore because they didn't bring lights up, so people are wandering out in the dark to leave. And it was late. It was like it was a Monday night, so it was late. It was 10. I'm old. I'm not usually asleep by then, but I'm definitely in bed by then. My husband's asleep by then because he gets up at 5 and goes into work. So it was a very early morning for him this morning, which I did not get up and join into. This is only the second time I ever remember this happening. I wake up and it's light outside, and I'm like, oh, what the heck? I managed to sleep till nearly 7. Let me set this over here. Let's see if I can kind of line that up. There we go. That's going to be crooked, but that's okay. We'll trim it. It'll be fine. So, but the concert was good. I think Lyle may have had a bit of a cold. He didn't quite sound like himself, but I know he said he had been home to see his kids. He does that now. He's got 7-year-old twins. Excuse me, I'm going to get a sip of my coffee. And he was a very late in life dad. I think he was 60 when the twins were born. So he, of course, dotes on them and tries to spend as much time at home with them as he can. So when they have a day off, he jets back to Texas to spend time with his family. But I think that has also opened him up more to being sick, because little ones tend to be kind of germy little ones, kids, not his specifically, but kids in general. So, that's part of life. But the concert was really good. He did a lot of his older music, and I enjoyed that. He had a guitar player from Phoenix, Ray Herndon, who used to travel with them a lot back in the day. And Ray was there last night. His family has a restaurant bar called Handlebar J. I think that's the name of it. And so it was really, really nice to see him. And then there's a lady that's a singer that's from Phoenix, Francine Reed. And there is just nothing like seeing Miss Francine. She retired from touring, I don't know, a few years ago. But she usually always comes out when Lyle's in town and sings with him. And that is just pure joy to see her. She's a lovely lady, incredibly talented family she comes from, and Lyle was saying that he's known her since, I'm gonna say maybe 1984, 1986. Matt Rollins, a piano player. There's an understatement to call Matt Rollins just a piano player. He's a piano player extraordinaire and many other things too. Very talented man. He played piano with Lyle for years, and he introduced them back in the day. He was playing at the band at a local watering hole in Tempe, Arizona called Chewy's, which I remember from my college days. Although sadly, I will have to say I never did get a chance to see Miss Francine or Matt Rollins there. I think I came to that a little later in my college years, but Lyle always says it's like coming home when he comes to Phoenix. Recorded his first album here. There's a gentleman named J. David Sloan and the Rogues. They played at a West Valley club called Mr. Lucky's. Well, I don't know, was it really West Valley? Probably not. Probably more like Central Valley. It was West Valley for me because I lived on the east side of town, but and so they were part of his first record, and he always speaks very fondly of them whenever he's here. So when I was talking about Matt Rollins, the most amazing piano player. His parents were there last night to encourage Lyle. Lyle was saying that Matt stopped touring when his son was born, so he could spend more time at home with his son. And Lyle says now, especially with the twins, he definitely can understand that. I think that would be really hard to. Of course, they've done it all their lives, travel like that. And I love to travel, but I don't think I could. I don't think I could do that. I like to be home, but I also like to go. I said for years that if I won the lottery, I was gonna become a roadie and just follow Lyle to all of his shows all over the country. My husband knows I would not be able to do that, even if I did win the lottery. Although if I won the lottery, I suppose I could just drag him along with. I was trying to remember last night when the first time he and I saw Lyle together. I think it might have been the summer before Lyle married Julia Roberts. This was before my husband and I were married, and they got married about the same time we did. So there we go. Okay. Now we have these done. Let's go back to the first one and do a little decorating on it. And then I'll see if I can get the seam binding in. It still doesn't want to stay down. Okay, what do I want to add to this? I don't want to cover up a lot of it, but maybe a nice column of numbers. But I will say that's the last outdoor concert in Arizona that I went to. I think it was like June of 1993. And, man, I had lived in California for a couple of years, and then I lived up in a mining town outside of the Phoenix area, which is considerably cooler than Phoenix, especially at night. And, I just about roasted at that concert. So at that point I decided, nope, no more outdoor summer concerts for me. But Julia Roberts was there, and she was sitting under the mixing board for his concert. So had to laugh. Last night I was sitting next to an older lady, and I don't know if the young man with her was a grandson or a young friend of the family or something, and he had not seen Lyle before, and so she was talking to him, and he she says, oh, you'll never guess who he used to be married to. And I don't know, this young man was maybe early 20s at the oldest. Of course, he had no idea. And so, of course, she was taking great delight in telling him that he used to be married to Julia Roberts, which I know was a head scratcher for a lot of people at the time, but he's a genuine guy, I think, Lyle. And very talented musician, so I can see the appeal. But anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. But anyway, I think the lady that Lyle is married to now is a much better fit for him. Okay, let's see. This is very stiff seam binding, so I don't know if I'll be able to. Let's see. Do I have my? Oh, I had my crocodile over here. Where did I put it? Oh, I must have buried it. So let's just. I'll try this. This might be a little too small for the seam binding to go through. And of course, that's not going to be even or square or, well, maybe it looks kind of like I might have got it sort of straight. That's a good thing. So anyway, let's see, how much do I need? Let's do this. That's interesting. I don't remember seam binding having that little. That's probably iron-on seam binding. We will just consider that a stripe. Okay. Pull that through there without tearing the tag. See if I can tie this. So we know my hands don't always do just what I want them to do. Okay. No, not even close to even, but and not close to tight enough either. I loosened it too much trying to make it. We will just go with ultra on this. And we'll call that one done. So we got one done. Let's see. Let's see. Well, we'll just do one more here real quick. Let's do this as this side is the top. Little dots everywhere. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this has that same thing. That's so interesting. Let me see. Does this? Oh, the blue doesn't. Let's use the blue because there's a little bit of blue there. So there you go. Now I've told you more about Lyle Lovett than you probably ever thought you would know or ever wanted to know, but definitely one of my all-time favorites. Got a couple of more concerts coming up. Got another one this month, but they're a local group. One of my favorites, also Traveler. And they're going to be at a park in Chandler about as far from us and still in the same city as we can be, but we've been out to their concerts. It's called Veterans Oasis Park, and it's a beautiful area. So that's coming up in a couple of weeks. My husband's birthday's coming up. Lots of stuff going on. Let's trim this. Well, that little bow looks better. Let me trim that. Yes, much better. Okay. So I think we will call that good. I didn't decorate it. I just put the bow on it. Does it need anything else, really? I want something on this side, maybe. Oh my God, that's little and interesting. Oh, this is kind of interesting. And then it picks up the color from the other side. Let's do that real quick, and then I will feel like I cheated and didn't really do the challenge. Although I did say I was only going to do one from now on, didn't I? This one seemed like one I could do, so I got a little more carried away. and I've got more promissory notes cut out from her kit to do. So let's just add that there. Okay. Take all my extra bits, one I did not finish. Seam binding here, because goodness knows I got a lot of seam binding. Nice to use it, as I don't usually use it. I forget I have it. Matter of fact, this seam binding was still stapled in the little bag that it came from the charity shop, and that is not going to stay. So let's do a double knot. Nah. Oh, here we go. I tell you I'm done, and then I'm not really done. Okay, let's see. I'm not thrilled with that, but you'll forgive me, I hope. So here's the two large tags made from promissory notes that I did for the Roxy Creations Challenge. And here's the, getting tangled in fabric, the Margarete Miller Collage Challenge. Both of these are for week 10. And that's it. That's challenge day. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Little channel continues to grow, and I'd like it to keep growing. Excuse me. Oh my. And thank you for joining me today, and I hope you'll join me again in the future. Bye-bye for now.